Too many designers finish a project and think, wait, did I even make money on that? And it has to stop now. Profit shouldn't be a mystery that you solve months later. It should be something that you know while the project is in motion. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to build real profit clarity so that you can stop guessing, you can start leading, and finally make decisions based on facts and not feelings. Let's get to the core of the problem. Profit doesn't disappear in just one occasion. It leaks out in the small things. So it could be a few extra site visits, a few additional revisions, or it could be a few too many calls with vendors. By the time you notice, the profit margin is gone. And this actually happened to a client recently who told me on a call that by the end of the project, she wasn't even tracking her time anymore because it had spiraled out of control. She was going to site way too many times and she just stopped counting. And of course, she ended the project feeling frustrated. The client was happy, but she wasn't. She didn't make money. She felt tired, exhausted, and most of all, she felt unclear as to how to handle things on the next project. So today we're going to change that. As I said, profit isn't something that you calculate at the end of the project. It's something that you plan for at the beginning of the project. And the more visibility you build into your process, the more predictable your profit becomes. Okay, so step number one, I want you to track absolutely everything, at least on 1 or 2 projects. And even if you charge flat fees, you should know how long things take. Because if you've never done it, you actually don't have the data to know how long specific tasks really take. The goal isn't perfection, it's more about awareness. And when I say everything, it's also all the admin hours that you're spending on that project. Everything that's related to that project, make sure that you track it. We're trying to understand the data right now. And I know it's a little bit tedious to do that, but you have to do it at least on one project to understand the amount of time you're actually spending on that project. And if you do that on 2 or 3 projects, there are things that are going to make sense. You're going to see similarities in how long specific tasks take and why sometimes they take longer or less time. And you're going to be able to build a standard for how long you actually need on a specific type of project. And just to be clear, this is not about you being paid by the hour or feeling like your value is based on the hours that you spend. It's about understanding the baseline cost of you delivering that work, your time, your team, and your tools. So whatever fee you charge on top of that has to sit on this foundation. And that's where your margin and your creative freedom come from. And in my business, with my active clients, we help them scope and price for projects based on data that we have gathered over the years of working with hundreds of designers. And the plus is that the delegation part is already baked into their proposals. So they know that once the project is approved, they can delegate as much as they want and they still will make the profits that they want to make by the end of the project. If you want more details about how we work with clients, I added the link to book a call with me in the description below. Once you know where your time goes, the next step is to protect it before it disappears again. So step 2 is about building healthy buffers. And I know what you're going to say. I know that design projects never unfold in a straight line. Clients take longer to decide. Drawings need more adjustments. You get to site and there are issues that you couldn't possibly have planned for. And let me tell you that if your scope only reflects the ideal timeline, you're sure to have a profit leak. So build in a 15 to 20% buffer on every single project. And it's not padding, you just acknowledge that communication, coordination, and leadership take time. And when you plan for the real version of your process, you protect both your energy and your margins. Okay, so let's recap. Step number 1 was about tracking everything for now, just so we can gather the data. Step 2 is to add a 15 to 20% buffer. And step 3 is all about boundaries. Because scope creep is the silent profit killer, unfortunately. And it starts with the client just asking for one more revision or seeing an extra option of this room, more mood boards for you to do. Or could you pop by the site once again? And suddenly you're 20, 50, 60 hours over what you originally planned. So your fix is simple here. You're going to be clear up front, and you're going to structure when things shift, which they will. If your scope is super clear as to what is included, so it's not about saying it includes elevations or it includes floor plans, how many elevations, of which rooms, how detailed are they, how many rounds of revisions are you going to work on them, and what happens when they need an extra revision that wasn't planned in the scope of work. The more detailed you are, the easier it's going to be for you to stand your ground and have healthy boundaries with the client. And if something falls outside the scope of work, which it probably will happen, the client can ask for something extra. That is not a problem. But then they have they have two choices. Either they are billed hourly for that extra work, or you can send an extra proposal if the scope has increased quite a lot and you feel like a new proposal is in order. So you have to choose between those two routes. You give them options and they can decide what they want to do next. So now you're tracking time, you're planning realistically, and you're holding your scope. So the fourth step is to create checkpoints. At the end of each phase of the project, concept development, design development, install, I want you to do a few things. You're gonna stop and check hours logged, expenses paid, and the profit margin remaining. If you've gone over, just ask yourself why. What happened? Did communication take longer? Was there an unexpected revision cycle? And when you can catch those patterns mid-projects, it's going to help you adjust your fees, tighten your process, or improve timelines for this project potentially, but mostly for the next projects. And that's how you're going to run a successful business. You are a CEO, first of all, like you're not just a designer, you are a CEO who is running a design business, and we all work on visibility and data. The more you know about where those leaks happen, the better you're going to be able to plan for them on the next projects. And I know that right now it might feel like getting that profit clarity is a lot of extra work for you, but trust me, the extra work that you're putting in now to track everything and review what's happening at each phase of the project is not only going to save you tons of time down the line, but also a lot of stress, and it's going to ensure that you make more profits than you are making now. And also imagine, now you might be working on your own, but what if your business starts growing and you need to hire, whether it's working with an outsourcing firm like ours or hiring in-house? You want to make sure that you don't pay all your profit to your team. If this hits home, you feel like you've been running your business on instincts rather than the insight, then you're gonna love our new 3-month program, the Profitable Designer Method. It's a one-on-one, done-with-you program where we help you streamline the back end, scope and price for profit. We teach you how to delegate smoothly to get the results that you want and to make the profits that you want at the end of the projects. And you'll feel like a true CEO who doesn't feel overwhelmed on everything you're doing day to day, but you can lead with confidence. Then check the description below. I added all the details of what this program includes, and I hope to see you soon on a call to discuss what your next step is going to be in your business.